Greetings everyone. This is the Great Rick here, and I'm doing something that's kind of familiar, but kind of not at the same time. Last year, I did a trailer analysis of the Fire Emblem Three Houses February trailer, and now, because I'm also a huge Final Fantasy fan, I'm gonna be doing an analysis of the PS5 trailer for Final Fantasy 16. Now, again, much like the Three Houses trailer, all of this is speculation, and much like my last trailer analysis video, it's going to be very long, and I'm going to be talking and pausing. Every time I talk, I'm going to pause the video. So, this might not be my best audio quality, but fuck it. Anyway, let us begin. Okay, mature content. I'm just gonna say, a lot of people have been using this to rag on the PS5 presentation earlier today. But Square Enix didn't have the game ready, people. Square Enix didn't have the game ready, didn't have the gameplay ready for an actual PS5 usage. Unlike every other game that's on there, because people seem to forget that fucking message. But that's just rambling. But yeah, so
you all know the target. Shiva's dominant. And only the dominant.
How do we even know the girl will be on?
Okay, so first things first that we hear is, or we see, are the campfire and with our protagonist guy looking into it, and then we get a flashback of this group of soldiers being like, we only attack where our target's the dominant, and only the dominant. And the question, and right now, Final Fantasy's always been big on its nonsensical terms, like Eidolon, Fal'Cie, Lissi. But I think dominant here is, I was in a discussion earlier, and someone said that dominant might be the name of what a summoner is called. And much like a Fal'Cie or Lissi in Final Fantasy 13, a dominant might be someone that's linked to that summon. So these soldiers are attempting to take out the summoner of Shiva. But as we can see right here, let me rewind just a bit, we see this brutal
No,
scene.
the girl will be among us.
Our kind do not question orders, we follow them.
Can I just say that this, I'm also, I know I've paused it 6 times in the first 30 seconds, but I just love the brutality of this trailer. You have these soldiers, a guy literally gets a fucking blade through his skull, and you see the blood rush out, and that's something you haven't seen since Final Fantasy Type 0, which was a spin-off game. But, yeah.
Sergeant, let's summon their icon.
Icon?
Yeah, okay. Icons, pretty much, so icons can be confirmed to be called, can pretty much be confirmed to be the new name for summons, which, I don't know if Final Fantasy's ever done that before, called them icons, which from what everyone else has said is spelled E-I-K-O-N, but who knows, it probably will be spelled that way. But yeah, so yeah, we now know that the summons are called icons, and
That thing's a bloody mountain!
Shiva looks...
Our foe will not relinquish their mother crystal easily. This will be a bitter fight.
You should not.
So, one of the things I'm gonna note right here, or actually no, I don't know why I paused it here, but oh, I paused it a bit too early. I thought we already shown.
Be out of doors. We have discussed this. Come, Joshua. Your father will be expecting us.
So, as we see here, this little boy's name is Joshua, and that woman is either his mother or a nanny. I'm gonna lean towards mother, and one of the things I want to note is this game seems to be a mix of fantasy and realism. So the woman covering her mouth, she might have a plague of some sorts, as people have also speculated. And as we see, as we heard her say, that Joshua's not supposed to be leaving the house. So maybe he is. So, and we also see him using magic, and he's dressed in the typical red mage attire. So maybe much like the Kingsglaive stuff or Final Fantasy 15, mages are supposed to be either just kept secret, or they don't want him just using his magic willy-nilly. Either way, it works. And it, like, honestly, I'm just really curious with the setting now.
I am Joshua's shield. I'm sworn to protect him.
What do you mean you refuse?
Okay, so I know I keep pausing like every 10 seconds, but this freaking, but the goddamn, like, combat, that was just smooth. It seemed like a perfect ground between Final Fantasy 15 and, like hardcore action. But that also makes sense given that it's confirmed that the battle director for Devil May Cry is working on this fucking game alongside Yoshi P. But yeah, I just wanted to comment that that battle, like, 1 second. Yeah, that battle animation is so smooth. Like, god damn, is that beautiful. Mwah.
What do you mean you refuse? Did you not pledge your sword to our cause?
What does it matter?
Okay, so quick. Actually, no, wait. I paused too early again.
It was the Dalmex who drove back the Crusaders in the Battle of the Twin Realms, was it not?
Without the blessing of the...
So, I think, that the scene of, like, what do you mean, like, of like, the king guy being furious, is not this scene right here, but rather a separate scene where our hero, the black-haired dude, refuses an order, which honestly could make sense given like the theories I have about this story, especially how like the beginning, how we're gonna have like a time skip at the very start or after the first mission, but we'll just have to see. So I'm gonna
Mother Crystal, we cannot defend our realm from the spread of the blight.
Okay, the spread of the blight. That's okay. So one of the things that Final Fantasy has been loving to do lately is have a virus of some kind, or some sort of apocalyptic thing, like Final Fantasy 15. Or actually, no, even since Final Fantasy 13. Final Fantasy 13 had the Lassie curse, which was you fulfill what they ask you to do, or you're going to, or you're going to die. Final Fantasy 15, you had the Demon Blight, or whatever it's called. And pretty much with that, it's like humans have the chance of becoming demons or getting killed by demons, especially at night, because demons were fully nocturnal. Then you had the Sin Eaters from Final Fantasy XIV, the newest expansion of Final Fantasy XIV, Shadowbringers, which pretty much fed off sunlight, and and there was an infection that solely made people into Sin Eaters. With this, there's some sort of blight going around, and honestly, going back to that woman from earlier, the mother/nanny figure, she might be infected with that blight, so maybe the kid Joshua has it too or something, and that's why they can't really go out. Especially because kids aren't the most safe with infections. But that's again all just speculation. We'll just have to wait and see. And, okay, so, looking at this real quick, the Dragoon is awesome. That Dragoon looks fucking badass. Second, if you've noticed, he's got the Phoenix right behind him, which makes me question something, but I'm going to save that for later. Just keep that in the back of your minds for a second.
So I sit in the Dragoons. Imperial Vipers. Do they really mean to invade us?
Once again, more brutality. Like, holy shit, a kid's face got fucking splattered with blood. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, god damn, I don't... Even Type 0 wasn't this insane.
It's the Archduke's son.
Phoenix.
Stop this!
So, I think that all but confirms that the kid is one of those, quote-unquote dominants, if that's the correct term, if that is what these people are, or if that is what summoners are called, dominants. And he is the dominant of Phoenix, which makes him a valuable tool, but at the same time, they say they don't call him the Archduke's son, Joshua, wielder of Phoenix. They call him the Archduke's son, Phoenix, which means that the Phoenix, that means he might be the Phoenix, or something like that. But anyway, let's keep going, because this next line is going to be very, very important.
Second icon of fire. But that's impossible.
An icon of fire, but that's impossible. So, with that in mind, another speculation that I've seen is that perhaps there's only supposed to be one icon or summon of each element. Like, for example, Shiva is the only ice element. Titan, as we saw, is the only earth element. But, you see, we have Ifrit right here. We have Ifrit. Sorry, slight spoilers for like 10 seconds ahead. And we already have Joshua/Phoenix. So, that very well could mean that the scope of the known icons is either very limited, or this is not a or Ifrit here is not a natural born icon, because... Yeah, if you saw... let me go back, like... unlike the other icons, this looks very demonic. This looks like a creature built from like some sort of spell crafting. It does not look like a natural born icon. So maybe the enemy forces have created some sort of icon that can be used to fight back, because the allied kingdom that we are with has the Phoenix. So with that, they were like, you know what, we need fire for ourselves. Let's kill this. Let's make ourselves one, which honestly could create a whole new plane of war. But let's keep going. Come on.
The legacy of the crystals. Has shaped our history.
Wait, Joshua, wake up. Okay, so this is the scene I keep forgetting about, where they say, wait, Joshua, wake up. So, we saw him turn into Phoenix, but at the same time, when we're seeing Ifrit, once again, gorily rip someone apart, we don't show the person being ripped apart, we just see the blood splatter, which is, holy fuck, different from a Final Fantasy usually does. We still have... Yeah, we still have, the guy saying, Joshua, wake up. Which, again, is probably our protagonist. So, does that mean that, like, while Phoenix is summoned, Joshua is not around? And if so, is Joshua immovable when he's Phoenix? Or is Joshua's body not movable when Phoenix is summoned? That's another thing to consider, but again, I'm just doing blind speculation. I'm going to be doing this for every single Fire Emblem trailer that we... Or Final Fantasy trailer. I don't know why I said Fire Emblem, because I'm used to fucking Fire Emblem shit. So, now...
I'll kill you. If it's the last thing I do.
And we get our title sequence, or our title card, which is this awesome Ifrit versus Phoenix image, which is beautiful. But yeah, with Final Fantasy, with that we saw that, the same guy who's supposed to be, Joshua's shield, he is now older, or he's also the older guy that we see in the beginning. So that means that I think we're going to be playing as the younger version of the main character for a short amount of time, and then we're going to be playing as the older version. But here's what gets to me. The fact that Joshua's shield guy, who we don't have a name for yet, has Phoenix when he's fighting. So that means one of two things. Especially, that means that either Joshua, now an adult in that time skip version, with that time skip version of the protagonist that we see, is able to lend Phoenix to the main character, or that Joshua gets killed in that battle, and with that, the main character, his whole thing about I'll kill you, is about the guy who is Ifrit. But, again, this is all just speculation, and we won't know until the game comes out, or until we get a demo, and God, I fucking hope we get a demo, because if we get a demo and it's announced for PlayStation 5, I'm already buying a PlayStation 5, not this paycheck, but, next 2 paychecks, I'm buying a PlayStation 5, fuck it. That's gonna be worth it. But, yeah, Final Fantasy, but yeah, so far, I'm hyped, I am loving the setting. Actually, let this finish, and then I'll speak some So yeah, I'm going back to the title card, just to keep the video there. Yeah, honestly, the setting has me hyped. We've never had a full-on fantasy Final Fantasy. I'm just gonna say this. I don't think the airship's gonna be in this game. I don't think we're gonna have the steampunk aspects that Final Fantasy usually has. I think we're gonna be sticking to just sword and shield, sword, shield, sorcery shit. That, honestly, I am all 110% for, because here's the thing, people have been clamoring for a traditional fantasy Final Fantasy, a return to form when they say that, but Final Fantasy has never been a full-on fantasy. It's always been steampunk fantasy, always had a bit of a sci-fi fantasy element to it with the airships. This, I feel, is going to be pure fantasy Final Fantasy, a la Fire Emblem, where outside of, 3 houses with the Agarthans, it's always been a pure fantasy with magic, spells, all that good shit. But overall, this is the game that when it gets announced, I'm buying a fucking PS5 for. You cannot stop me. I love this already. But anyway, this has been The Great Rick. Thank you guys for watching. Please tell me, and I dropped something down on the floor, but anyway, please tell me what you guys thought of the trailer. Tell me if you guys are hyped, or are you guys gonna wait for another analysis, or another new trailer to drop more info. Either way, please tell me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. This has been The Great Rick, and I will see you guys next time.